You talk about this thing called the decision inventory. So let's get practical for someone who may be listening. What's the fastest way to start that decision inventory?
Great question. Okay. So grab a notebook, or if you're more of a digital phone person, grab the note app on your phone. Write down 5 to 10 meaningful decisions that you've made in the last 6 months. Then for each one, I want you to jot down 3 things. Did you move too fast, too slow, or about right? Did you involve too many people, too few people, or the right mix of people? Did the outcome work, not work, or land somewhere in that messy middle? And remember, you're not grading yourself on this. And we're not, again, we always say when we do these self reflection exercises in every module of the Inner Nine, this is not the self blame game and shame, self blame, shame, and judge game. You are
Okay.
just trying to gather information and have an honest reflection with yourself with some grace.
So you're actually looking for patterns.
Yes. Yes. You want
So
to find the
once you
trend.
see, yeah. So once you see a pattern, kind of what do you do?
Then you just pick one adjustment. If you move too fast on high impact calls, then pause and run a race just on one upcoming decision. If you over consult, right, then you want to define next time who truly needs to be in the room. Get better at that practice. The goal is not perfection or a personality transplant. It's an evolution of different behaviors that you're conditioning yourself to be able to do as almost as a reflex over time. At first, you have to practice that. You have to be intentional about it. And then it becomes very natural and normal.
Okay. So this example we've been talking about, this new HRIS system, that's a pretty big decision that someone's going to need to make, right? Like you said, it's hard to kind of walk that back once you've made a decision and begin to move forward. So for those listening that are looking at an upcoming next big choice or big decision, right? What would be the first thing they should start out with to address that next big item?
Name it, right? So you want to name before you're in the heat of the moment. You want to sit down with the rice model and you want to classify the decision. You want to write the criteria and list whose wisdom you need. And then set 2 dates, the decision date and the review date. And that one deliberate decision can reset how you approach all of the others that you're dealing with, but start with naming it first.
So get specific and then hold yourself accountable to the decision date and the review date.
Yes.
Okay. So as we wrap up here, for the leader who's tired, for the leader who's overwhelmed, and maybe a little nervous about what their inventory decision can reveal, what do you want them to walk away with?
I think the comfort of knowing that allowing decisions to be made in a framework perspective is something that will empower you. And even though it may take a little bit of time at first, it won't hold you back. I remember being a CHRO and I would have a lot of requests coming my way, and I had to be able to quantify the ROI to all of them. And I built a matrix following these models, but my weighted matrix was about impact to the organization, and the impact was defined as, is it one office, one region, global, right? There's a big difference in that. Budget
Mhm.
thresholds, is it 10,000, 50,000, 500,000? Stakeholder requirement, am I pulling in 3 other teams, executives, or can I do this just with my team alone? Execution barriers, which was really, if I'm going to deploy this decision or this program, am I going to have people that can actually use it in the time that I need them to use it for? And when you use RICE and then a decision making framework like that, I think that there is a certain clarity that you not only allow yourself to be able to leverage, but you're able to communicate to other people on your team. Hey, you take leadership and ownership of the decisions at a certain level up to this point. I will take the rest, right? You've now delegated some decision making authority with the same framework you want decisions to be made in. You're teaching other people how to make solid decisions and you're freeing yourself up in time, right? And then if you have a CEO or a boss that is, you feel like you can't ever get on their calendar, you're not really sure who's making the decisions where, create this framework, give it to them and say, hey, I want to make decisions under X threshold, right? So then you're sort of getting buy-in that you get to make autonomous decisions and be empowered and supported to do those things under a certain level of risk or impact or whatever it may be. And so in sum, your legacy isn't going to be measured by how many decisions you made or how busy you were. A lot of people wear that as a badge of pride. I'm
Mhm.
so busy. And so nobody cares. Nobody's going to remember that. It's going to be, your legacy is going to be measured by the handful of choices that you made. And the ones that you treated as being truly sacred choices, the one that you made with clarity, the one that you made with courage, the one that you made with humility and the ability to learn from them. That's a big part of it. Deciding well is not about perfection. It's about aligning your choices with what truly matters and then having the courage to examine them so you and your team can grow. And final thing I would say is, as you and I talk about, even when we make our own decisions, are your eyes wide open and was your heart full? Are you doing it with all the facts and data? And are you doing it with the best intentions in mind for everybody? And chances are you're going to make a pretty good decision.